Hello everyone. I thought today would be a great day for me to share with you how I prepare for my markets. I've got my labels back here, I've got my little packages back here, and I'm going to put those together. Once I do that, then I'll be what I call bagging and packing. So join me. All right, so the first thing I do is to make a list of all of the products that I sell. And I list them all out with what I've made, what I've sold, and what was left. Now this is a reference for me from the previous week, because if I'm going to another market, it'll sort of give me an indication of how much I need to bag and pack for this particular market. So currently I do 2 markets a month, and then I do other markets or appearances throughout the month. But these are my 2 main markets. So I've listed everything out that I'm going to be selling this weekend, and then I will record that on my new list. So, and I don't really have any particular order as to how I add the labels. Sometimes I'll do what I call the big 3 first. The big 3 for me are the peanut butter, blueberry bacon, and cinnamon. And then I'll do my jerkies. I have 3 jerkies. I've got beef jerky, chicken jerky, and turkey pumpkin jerky. So, but today I just decided I would try to do it in alphabetical order. I hope it doesn't mess me up too much. So I only did 2 of the apples, and now I'm going to label my beef jerkies. So I had beef jerkies left over from last week, so I don't have to make that many labels. Yeah. So I've got 6 labels here that are already made. I will probably only make 2 additional labels, because when I was at this market 2 weeks ago, I had 7, I sold 6, and I had 1 left over. So I'll probably just make 2 more just to be on the safe side, because you never know. Sometimes I have new customers that come and they have not heard about me, and they'll buy something new or different just to try out with their dog. So I'm going to go ahead and make 2 additional beef jerky labels. I keep everything in this pouch. Everything is labeled, and it helps keep me in order. So, oh, okay, I had already taken out of the pouch. All right, and I've got my new labels here. And I've got my own little way of doing it. I like to put the labels on first, and then I'll put on what's called the guaranteed analysis. This gives the customer an itemization of the protein, the fat, the fiber, and the moisture that's in the treats. And it also gives them the ingredients that are included in the treats. I live in the state of Maryland, and the state of Maryland requires that we put this information on our dog and pet treats. And let's see, I need something else that I'm not finding right now. I know I have them because I printed them out yesterday. Here they are, yeah. I also have to put what's called a storage or maintenance or freshness label. I have to let my customers know how to keep their products fresh and how to store them. So once again, this is something that the Department of Agriculture requires that we do here in the state of Maryland. So I've got my beef jerky labels, and typically if I have old packages left, I will use them first, and then if I have additional labels like I've made, I will use those, but I want to use up the old before I do the new. Okay, so that was the beef jerky. And I try to stay coordinated. I try to stay organized because there's so many times when I have put the right label on the front and the wrong guaranteed analysis label on the back. And that's not fun, trying to peel these labels off of these packages. So since I've started on the jerky, I'm going to just go through with the jerkies. I don't like to go back and forth because the big three have a different packaging. It's just easier to do the same packaging at the same time. So I've started with the beef, so I'll just move on to the chicken. I had some chickens left over last week, and I had 3 of them, so I'm going to see what I sold at that market the week before. I made 7 and I sold 7. So I'm going to go ahead and make 7 labels for this one. I'm going to add an extra one. What I like to do, I don't really like to leave 2 labels on the page like this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it this time. If I only had 1 label, I would have made another package for it because it's just sort of waste and time consuming to put a sheet of paper with 1 label back in the envelope. Yes, and I do drop my trash on the floor. I let it collect until I'm finished, and then I just grab it up and I take it outside. I guess I could put a trash can next to me, but that would fill up our kitchen trash can. So I just leave it all here, and when I'm done, I grab it up and I take it and put it in the garbage outside. Now, I'm still using the same freshness label for the jerkies. The jerkies all have the same requirement that they need to be, that they can be refrigerated and that they will last several months. So they all have the same freshness labels. Okay, got my 8 chicken, and the last jerky I have is going to be my turkey jerky. And let's see, turkey I sold, I made 5 and I sold 5. So I'm going to, let's see how many I have left. 1, 2, 3. And I'll probably make an extra one. So I've got my 3 turkeys here, 3, 4, 5. I'll just make an even 6. And if they don't sell, I'll just bring them back. Save the packaging for the next time. it has gotten hot in here. I'm going to use up this extra one that I had. Oopsie. Okay. All right, so I've got my 6 turkey jerkies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So the jerky labels are ready. These out of the way. And when I do these labels, I don't write down how many I made at this time because I may not use all of the packaging. It really depends on how much of the product that I have. I typically make the same amount every week, but depending on what I bring back, I may use more or less of these packages. So once I have bagged it, then I'll write in my trusty journal how many I actually bagged and packed. So now on to the big 3, which is the peanut butter. The same thing with the peanut butter. I had some peanut butter left last time, so I've got 1, 2, 3. And peanut butter is typically a big seller. I'll double check, see how many I sold the last time. At that particular market, peanut butter, I sold 4, and I've got 3. So I'm going to make an even number, and I call an even number 5. So I'm going to make 5. Actually, I'm going to make 6. Yeah. You'll probably notice that I use the brown bags for what I call the big 3, the peanut butter, the cinnamon pumpkin, and the blueberry bacon. And I use the silver bags for the jerkies. It just gives some variation when I'm setting them up in the morning. Okay, so I've got my 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6 peanut butter, and I may need to make some more. Just depends. I typically make a lot of peanut butter treats because they are popular. But what I'll do if I find that I have more after I've bagged and packed everything, then I will make some more because I make what's called a sampler, and the sampler is a sampling of all of the hard treats that I make, and I have particular quantities that I put in my sampler, so I've got to make sure that I have enough of everything in order to make my sampler. I almost forgot to put the GA on here. Sometimes I wish that I had someone to help me do this labeling because it is time consuming, but I have screwed up so much with labels that, and labels are expensive. These labels are a repeatable expense. I mean, these are not reusable. So I have messed up on labels so many times that I just don't trust anyone else but me putting the labels on. Maybe I'll get to that one day, but today is not the day. And then I had some cinnamon pumpkin left over from last week. So I've got 1, 2, 3. Now, cinnamon pumpkin isn't a really popular treat. So I may make one, cinnamon pumpkin. See, I sold 3 and I've got 3 here. So I will make up 1 bag, but I'm not going to overdo it with that. Because I don't need to. And honestly, if I don't have to print a label on a product that I'm not going to use on a regular basis, then that saves me money. It allows me to get rid of a piece of paper because this was the last guaranteed analysis on that page. But what I don't have is the freshness label. I put it back with the peanut butter, didn't I? I did. Yeah. Oh, here's one. Okay. So let's see, and then blueberry bacon. I'll leave this one out. And this was cinnamon pumpkin. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one in the brown label is going to be the blueberry bacon. And last week I sold out, believe it or not, of blueberry bacon, and that's unusual for me, but I'm not complaining. So that's another product that I don't make a lot of. The recipe just doesn't make up a lot, and I have to triple it, and typically I only get 3 bags out of it. So, and I have to use some of them to make my sampler. So I'm just going to make 3 bags this time, and I'll be really fortunate if I'm able to fill all 3 bags. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the Mighty 3 also use the same freshness label. It's just jerkies are a little different. Jerkies are tough. Jerkies can stay out. They don't really have to be refrigerated. Whereas these other treats have egg in them. And so I think it's better that they stay refrigerated. Uh-oh, like I printed this one on the wrong side. Oh well, I'll fix it. Okay, so I have completed the big 3 on the jerkies and the bones. So what I'm going to do now is take a quick break. I'm going to reassess what I have. I'm going to get my trays together. Oh, I actually do have, let's see, I've got my peanut butter pumpkin training treats, and I'm going to make one label, one package for this because I don't sell a lot of them. And let's see, I've got my samplers. I'm going to go ahead and make these because I did sell 6 last week, and typically that's my number. So I'm going to make 6 of these. And then my sweet potato chips, I'm going to make 1 of these because I have 2. But these, I make these sweet potato chips typically to go mainly in the samplers because I'm finding that a lot of people and their doggies don't really like sweet potato chips, so I don't make that many. Okay, I'm going to take a break and I'll be right back. Well, I've finished all of my labeling. As I said, I needed to make labels for my sampler and to make another label for my peanut butter training treat. So I've done all of that. And now what's left is to bag them. Also, I've gotten my buckets because I do put everything in a bucket. So I brought my buckets in, and if you hear the kaplunk, then you're going to hear, that's what this is going to be, is the kaplunk of me dropping everything in the basket. So I am ready to start bagging. And what I do, I'll just grab a handful and I put them in my scale. Now I make, and here's one right here, it's a great example. I make 2 sizes. I make the regular 2-inch size biscuit, but I'll also make a mini biscuit. And the reason that I do that is because these types of packages are typically 8 ounces. And because I'm not a manufacturer, my pieces are not precision, so they're going to come out to be exactly 8 ounces. So I try to get as close to 8 ounces as I can. For the most part, I go over because I mean, you know, they're just not going to come out the same size every single time, even though I use a cutter just due to conditions. So I'll make the smaller ones to get me to 8 ounces or 8.1, 8.2 ounces. So if any of you happen to buy my treats and you see these little baby pieces in there, that's why I'm not trying to skimp. That's the purpose of having the guaranteed analysis, because the guaranteed analysis tells you exactly how much is in there, which for these bags is going to be 8 ounces. So, all right, so what I do is I make sure that I'm picking up the full size treats initially. And I just love my little OXO scale. I'm not being sponsored or anything, but I just love all things OXO. So, and I actually had another scale and it died on me last week. I've been using it for years and years and years, and it just, I mean, I know, I guess I could put more batteries in it, but I decided I wanted to go digital. I wanted to come up to the 21st century. So here we go. We're almost there. All right, so I didn't even have to put any little bones in. It came out to be 8.1. So got my 8.1 here, and I'll open it up. And I'll just put them in here. It's bag number 1, and I'll do the same thing again. All right, so this one I'm at 7.9 ounces, and so I'm going to look for a small one, even though it's going to take me over. I I just try to make it as equal as possible. So this is an 8.1 ounce. And so what I don't do is give less. If I can't get it to be exactly what it's supposed to be, then I give more, because for some reason, maybe it's air, I'm not sure, but once the treats start settling, they tend to weigh less. So I'd rather err on the part of having over the amount than having under the amount. These bags are really tight. And let's see, I'm going to try to make one more. Like I told you before, I make samplers, and I'm seeing here that I'm getting low, and it takes approximately 22 to 24 biscuits to make an 8-ounce bag. But if I'm making 6 samplers, then I'm looking at this and seeing that I'm going to run short on samplers, on providing enough of these peanut butter biscuits in order to make samplers. So what I'm going to do, what I normally do, is I go in and I weigh another 8 ounce, and then I count out to see if I'm going to have enough to make the sampler pack that I need. Got a baby one. All right, so, and I typically put 4 of each of the big 3 in my sampler bag. It's just easier to measure out that way because they're individual biscuits. You'll see when I do the jerkies that it doesn't always come out the same. So 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is going to give me 6 full, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, nope, I'm good. This is going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to give me 7 samplers, and I had 2 samplers left over from last week, so that's going to give me 9 samplers, and typically I sell between 6 and 8 samplers a week. So I've got my 8-ounce bag here, which is going to give me 4 bags, and I've got enough to make 7 samplers. So I'm going to fill this bag up, and then I'm done with the peanut butter. I can go ahead and write in my journal how many I made for this particular market. I had 2 of these left over, and they will be put to the side for the next time. So that's how I do that. And once I'm done, they'll go in the bucket. These will be moved over. And then I will start with the next set. Blueberry bacon. So, oh, well, I'm going to switch it out because the cinnamon was next, but no problem. And do the blueberry bacon. Same thing, same procedure. I make small biscuits for all of them, just in case. All right, so here we go. And even the density on some of them is different. The density on the blueberry bacon is very light. Not as light as the cinnamon, but the peanut butter is very, very heavy. So you're going to get, I'm going to use more of these biscuits in an 8-ounce bag than I'm going to use in a peanut butter bag, because peanut butter is more dense ingredient wise than the ingredients that are in the blueberry bacon and in the cinnamon. Two blueberry bacons. And okay. All right. So I made 3 bags, and it looks like I'm going to stop at 3 bags. And then I'll count up how many I have for my samples. I'm really hungry. I haven't had lunch yet. I went to the gym this morning. When I left, I stopped at Chick-fil-A and got a market salad, and I haven't had it yet. So your girl is hungry. All right, so let's see what I've got here. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to make another bag, but let's just count for the sampler. Uh-oh, one broke. That's when it comes in handy to have a dog. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys that. We used to have 4 dogs, and we were down to 2 dogs, and then my little dog, which I hope I'll put a picture of her up, passed away 2 years ago, and then my husband's dog, which really was still my dog because I took care of the dog, passed away last year. But one of the beauties of having a dog and having a pet treat business is that when I had issues like a broken treat, they would get the treats, and they knew that. So they were also my taste testers, so I miss them. Alrighty then. So I have enough of the blueberry bacon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have enough of the blueberry bacon to make 7, but that doesn't leave me enough to make another bag. So this will just sit here and until the market is over. If I sell them all, yay. If I don't, then they will go into next week's packaging, because they do last for a couple of weeks. I keep them in the freezer in between times, so they will definitely last 2 months within the freezer. But for the most part, they don't last that long. They'll go. I'll recycle them, and they'll go the following market. All right, so let's. All right, so we've got 3 blueberry bacon. And they will go in the bucket. And then I get my cinnamon. And I made 4 cinnamon. And here we go. Same process. Let's see. All right. I don't see any small here. So, but the cinnamon are just, as I said, not as dense as the other treats are. So yeah, I don't see any small ones. I thought I did make some, but I guess not. So hey, here we go. See, okay, it was at 7.9. It didn't take it up that much. It took it up to 8.1 ounces, which is really nothing. So I always want to make sure that it zeroes back and doesn't take in the weight of the bowl. That's a baby one right there. It was hiding. Uh-oh, where's my baby? All right, same thing. I think I can really get away with 4 on these, so we'll see. Perfect. Three, and yeah, I think I can do 4. I think I'll have enough left here. I remember when I first started doing the business and doing the bagging and packing, I kept them in Ziploc bags and just went from bag to bag to bag. And eventually I realized just put them on the tray, make sort of kind of an assembly line. And it just makes it easier and more efficient to collect them up and bag them. Uh-oh, I need another baby. Okay, all right, perfect. All right, and this will be my 4th bag. I'm pretty sure that I have enough here to make the 7 samplers that I need. Okay, so let's count. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So same thing with these as with the blueberry bacon. I definitely have enough, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, to make 7 more sampler bags, but I don't have enough to make a 5th bag. So these will just stay here and be ready for the next market. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Cinnamon pumpkin. Oh, I need to get down. Okay, so I've done these 3, the big 3. I'm going to take another break because I need to eat. And then I will bring in the 3 jerkies. We'll pack those up. And then I've got my foo-foo treats, which are the apple critters and the peanut butter training treats. And then I'm going to show you the frozen treats. Oh, I've got my sweet potato. I forgot about those. And I'm going to show you the frozen treats that I have and that I don't take out until it's time to go to market. I bake them, doggy donuts, wolf and waffles, and hard bones like these, but only in larger mold. And I keep those frozen until it's time to go to market. And then I put them in my bakery case and sell them as baked goods. So I'm going to take a break right now, eat something, and I'll be right back. I'm back from my lunch break. Boy, I was really, really hungry. So I'm about to get started on the next set, which is the chicken jerky, the beef jerky, and the turkey jerky. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other three. I'm going to start weighing and bagging. So here we go. And as I was saying before, I use a jerky gun to make these. And so therefore they're going to come out long like this. So I end up breaking the sticks. They're unlike the biscuits where they're just 2-inch biscuits, but I have to break these sticks up because they're so long so they can fit in the bag. And I'm measuring 4 ounces here. Yeah. Okay. Now, when I see little pieces like this, I don't put them in my 4-ounce bags. I'll save these for maybe a dog friend that we have, or I'll put them in sampler bags because I like for my 4-ounce bags to have a full, or at least a half stick, a full stick that's been broken in half or quarters, but not these little pieces here. So I'll put them back in the bowl. And actually it was over 4 ounces, so I'll put one more in there. Because like I said, I like to err on the side of more rather than less. And I had some left over from last week, so some of the sticks are already broken, but not the little scrap pieces that you saw earlier. So I'll try to use those before I use the new. There we go. Yep. I've got the fan blowing on me now because it's gotten a little hot in this kitchen. I don't know if I mentioned to you before that I just got this little, oops, I shouldn't have taken it off, but I just got this little, oopsie, digital thermometer. I mean, digital scale. I had an older one, but it wasn't measuring accurately. It was going back and forth. And so I just decided, okay, I've used it so much. I've probably worn it out, so I'm going to go ahead and get another one. So I really do like this one. I think I did mention it to you before, but I mentioned it again. I guess that's how much I like it. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. I need to keep still and stop talking so much. Another one fell. Okay. All right. Here we go. We're back. Sometimes I do have to break the sticks again because they come up on top of the where the bag closes. So I'll have to break them in order to be able to seal the bag.
Extra there. Okay, there we go.
So I've got 3, 6, and I said I was going to make 8, so I have enough to make 2 more because I have 2 more trays in my dehydrator. So I'm going to go ahead and make my 8 bags. The chicken jerky is a big seller at the markets. I know there are some dogs who are allergic to chicken, but there are just as many who really enjoy chicken. And last bag. Ooh, right on time. Perfect measurement. All right, so I've got 3, 6, 7, 8 chicken jerky, 8. Just gonna double check and see how many I sold at the same market 2 weeks ago. And I sold 7, so now I've got 8, so I think I'll be okay. All right, so I think I'm gonna be able to get most of these in this bucket. Sometimes I do have to turn them upside down just so I can get them in here. I like to fill my buckets up as much as I can because I don't want to be carrying a whole lot of buckets from my car to the actual location, which tomorrow is not going to be a big deal because I have my car right beside me, right in front of me, and I can just dump it out. But in some markets, I have to unload my car and then take the car to another location, park that, come back, set up my tent, set up everything. So I try to be very minimal when it comes to how many baskets or buckets I'm taking. So this one is done. I've already done my count, and now I've got 2 buckets here. So this one is full, and I'll put this one on the bottom, and then I have the second one that will hopefully be enough room for the other 2 jerkies, the samplers and the apple critters and whatever else I have. And then I typically take my frozen treats in a smaller plastic container. So, all right, so we're gonna move over and we're going to work on the turkey. No, the beef. Now this beef is top sirloin, London broil beef that I source locally, and my butcher cuts it to specifications. And I've been working with the same butcher for as long as I've been doing this treat business, which has been 3 years. This is 2026. So yeah, 3 years I've been doing this, and I've been working with the same butcher. What I tell people though is, I have no control over what kind of meat the cow produces. That's up to the farmer. And sometimes I get really healthy looking pieces of beef, and sometimes they are not so healthy. So I try to make sure that my customers know that, and that regardless of the size of it, you're always going to get 4 ounces, and it's always going to be London broil. And it's always going to be fresh cut from my butcher. And did I say that the beef jerky is 4 ounces also? Yeah, I think I did. I attribute it to my age. And all of these that I'm packing up, all of these treats that I'm packing up go into the sampler. So everything that I bake goes into the sampler except for the soft treats. The donuts and the waffles do not go in the sampler because they have no preservatives. They have no, there's no dehydration. So they're not going to last past a day or two unless you put them in the refrigerator. And then at that, they're not going to be fresh because they're fresh baked. So.
That was a long one.
Oop, too big. Let's find a smaller one that will get me where to the right weight amount. And my customers who buy the beef really get the best deal because the beef is so dense, it's really difficult to get it around 4 ounces or 4.1. So they typically end up getting over 4 ounces because for the most part, I'm not going to break it like I break the jerky sticks. Oopsie, that came up fast. So see, those are really dense. Typically on a beef jerky packet, there's 8 to 9 sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so see, this one has 10 sticks in it. So that lets me know that the meat is not as dense as some cuts, previous cuts, or some other cows produce their meat. And the strips are a little thinner, the way the butcher cut them, and they're a little thinner. Here's a thick one. So, yeah, it just a lot depends on how the butcher cuts it. Okay, here we go. Day's getting away from me. It's 2:30. I typically set goals for myself. My goal is to be finished bagging and packing by 3 o'clock, but obviously that's not going to happen today. And I know most of it is because I decided to bring you guys along with me and show you what I do. So obviously setting up everything and talking and moving stuff around takes a whole lot longer than me just sitting here putting on a YouTube and just sitting down and bagging and packing. But that's okay, because it's been fun just to talk to you, to have someone to talk to, because I'm usually here by myself all day. My husband is working. He should be home soon. But yeah, usually it's just me. Alrighty, so those are the, how many do I have? 2, 4, 6. These are the 8 beef jerkies, and I'm pretty sure that that's going to be enough. I've got more back in the other room. Let's see, beef jerky. I sold 6 when I was there before. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I've got 8, so I think I'll be okay. What I say, hey, the early bird catches the worm. So if you get to the market early, you get as many as you want. If you come when the market's over and there's nothing there, hey, I do take orders. So I have an online store, so all's not lost. Okay. Let's see, I almost forgot to write down how many I made. That happens sometimes, and it happens sometimes. I won't go into any detail. Okay, so I did my 8 jerkies, and now I've got the turkey pumpkin. How many did I make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 turkeys. I have plenty to make more, but do I want to carry that excess? So the last time I was at the market, I had 5 and I sold 5. And this time I've got 6, so we'll see. Because the sampler really is my most popular treat product, and I will sell out of those, and you get everything in the sampler. So I've sort of cut back on the quantities of the individual treats I take because so many people want the samplers, and I have to use the treats from the individual bag makeup in the sampler. So I'm learning how to weigh that out. So here we go. All right, turkey pumpkin. The turkey is so similar. I know you can't see the detail, but the turkey is similar. Well, let me see. Here's a chicken. The turkey is similar in color to the chicken jerky, but the way you can tell it apart is that I put turmeric and parsley and pumpkin in the turkey pumpkin jerky, so it gives it a sort of darker look, but also, and you can't see it on the camera, but if you look hard enough, you'll see the turmeric in it. So that's how I've learned to tell them apart, because sometimes they can be really, really close in color. Okay. The one thing that scares me when I'm preparing to do my market is whether I actually have enough, because I have some customers who will come and buy 3 and 4 of the same product. They'll come in and they'll buy 3 turkeys, 3 chickens, 2 beefs. And if I'm only taking 5 there and they come first thing in the morning and buy, then I don't have enough of my other customers. But like I said a few minutes ago, I mean, the early bird gets the worm. And I really would love to have enough, but it's just difficult to manage. I do have some customers who will text me and say, look, you know, I'm going to be at the market tomorrow. Can you hold back such and such amount of particular treat? And I will do that. But it's pretty much a crapshoot. That's a lot. It's pretty much a crapshoot. I just have to go on my previous sales, weather, time of year, and trusting God that I'll have enough for my customers. And of course, I do need to be mindful that I have enough to make my samplers with, and I do. I'm going to stop right here. This looks real scraggly right here. But I have a couple more trays in the other room, so I think I'm gonna make my samplers first. And then if I have stuff left over, I'll increase the number of bags of whatever treat I feel like I need to make more of. All right. So that's my 6 turkeys, 2, 4, 6. Okay, and that's what we're gonna go with. We said we did 5 the last time I was there, and we're gonna go with 6 this time. I got my 6 turkey jerkies. Let's see. All right, so I've got to do the training treats and the sweet potato chips and the apple critters. All right, and I feel like I need another break. Oh. Woo. Yes, it's a lot of work. It's labor intense to get to do baking all week long and then come back on Friday and bag and pack all of this, label it, bag it, and pack it. It's a lot of work, but I love it. All right, let's see. I'm going to stop down and figure out what I want to do next. So I'll be right back. All right, we're down to the wire, and just want to give you a heads up that the lighting in here is not going to be all that great. I am losing my outdoor sun, and I have this overhead light on, so you probably see a big old yellow beam on the top of my head, but I need to be able to see my treats. So I'm just going to deal with this beam on my head, and I do have lights, but at this point in the day, I don't feel like setting them up. I just want to get finished bagging and packing. So I've got everything spread out here, and there is a method to it. I start with certain pieces that I like, well, certain pieces that are heavy, and I put them in the bottom of the bowl, and then I just go around and gather up the different treats. And so I use these large pink bags. I think that they draw attention like the silver bags do for the jerky. So these are the bags that I use for the sampler. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll make one bag with you with me, and then I will come back when I'm finished with the last bag. And if I didn't say it before, these the samplers are 8 ounces. So that's why they're in such a large bag. And I'm going to try to tell you a story while I'm doing this, but I don't know if I can measure and talk at the same time, because doing the samplers is totally different. It's not like getting one treat and just dumping it in and seeing that it's 4 ounces or 8 ounces. I mean, it's grabbing each one of these and making sure that I have enough, or that I have the right quantity for each treat and put in here. So maybe I'll go ahead and tell you, maybe I'll just, all right, we'll see what's going to happen. All right, so my husband bought a ring and put it on the doorbell the other day, because typically I am here by myself all day, every day, pretty much. So when I went into the other room to get the rest of the treats, I heard someone knock on the door, and I was stunned. I was stalled, because it was a knock on the door, and the way that my dining room and living room is, I can see straight out to the front door. So I peeked over and I saw a hand, and I jumped back. But then I said, ooh, this is a chance for me to test the ring. So I ran back to my phone and I pulled the ring app up, and sure enough, there was the photo of this man at the door and his hand on the doorbell. And I said, whoa, it works. I'm so excited. But the thing was, I was expecting the person who, the first time I was expecting someone to ring the doorbell, but they didn't ring the doorbell. They knocked on the door, and that's what shocked me. That's what startled me when I was in the other room, because we have these, like, what do you call them, ceiling to floor pretty much windows, and I guess if a light is not on, you can see inside, and so I was afraid that they were going to see me. But anyway, ran back, saw who it was, obviously did not answer the door. And a few minutes later, my husband came home and he said, "Oh, I see that you had some solicitors." So is he peeping Tom on his ring, looking at me, seeing what I'm doing? I don't know. But anyway, just wanted to share that with you. So back to packing. Okay, I've got my 2 apple critters that I put in. And then I go with the 4 bones, whatever flavor they are. These are the cinnamon, so I'm going to do 4 cinnamon. I'm going to do 4. Uh-oh, I broke one. Oh my God. Got to be real careful with these. I do have 4 blueberry bacon, 4 peanut butter. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to make sure that people get at least 4 of the bone treats that I have. Then I go back and I will get 2 pieces of jerky, but I'll break them up. And then I'll get some chicken. And I'll get some turkey. And then I will get, I think I've gotten everything right, yeah. Nothing under here, yeah. And then I will get these pumpkin peanut butter treats. Oops, and so see, I've got too much already because I'm already at my 8. So in that case, I'll take out, yeah, and then I will put in some sweet potato chips. And that should take me to 8, okay? So that's how I do it. So I'll just go through, pick out what I need. If I need to put something back in order to make it 8 ounces, that's what I'll do. And I will be back when I'm done. Okay, this is the last sampler, and in terms of bagging and packing, I'm done for the day for the most part. I ended up making, let's see, we had 2 from before, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 9, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to sell 9 tomorrow. So these are the hard dehydrated treats. Let me show you what will get packed up tomorrow morning. And bear with me. Hello, dear, I'm talking. You want to be on camera? You want to be on camera? Okay. So, you'll be quiet, okay. So, okay, well, they hear you now. Anyway, so these are the waffles that I've made that I keep frozen, the donuts that keep frozen, and then I make some large bones. And these stay frozen until the day of the market. So that is my process for bagging and packing on the day before the market. As you can see, it is an all-day process, but once I put these in the bucket and clean all of this up, I am done for the day. Well, no, that's not true because I have to pack out my car. Actually, the whole thing is going to be over tomorrow afternoon. But anyway, that's my process for bagging and packing the day before the market. Thanks so much for joining me. If you like this video, you can comment, subscribe. I don't know what the other one is, I forget. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you on the next video.